All right, strap yourselves in, everyone, because today we are going deep on something I bet you've never thought much about before. The pilot seat. We've
Oh,
got two sources to guide us here, a pilot seat study guide and a pretty complex-looking diagram labeled SAMI 2025012.pdf.
interesting.
So let's dive in and see what we can uncover.
Sounds good.
Okay, so just glancing at this diagram, it's well, it's pretty intimidating.
Yeah.
All those levers and adjustments and what even IS and inertia real locking level?
That's a great question, and I think it highlights how important safety is when it comes to pilot seats.
Oh, for sure.
And that's really reflected in the design.
Okay, so let's break this down a bit, starting with the headrest.
Yeah.
What makes a pilot seat headrest so special?
Well, you have to think about all the turbulence a pilot experiences up there.
Right?
That headrest has to provide some serious support, and it needs to be adjustable for different body types and preferences.
Makes sense.
And that's why you see all these different options for height and carrier arm, even table tilt.
Huh. So it's not just about comfort.
No, not at all.
It's about making sure the pilot's head is secure and supported no matter what's happening in the air.
Exactly.
Speaking of adjustments, those armrests look pretty tricked out too.
Oh, absolutely. They're not just about resting your elbows.
What else are they for?
Well, they play a huge role in maintaining proper posture and minimizing fatigue, especially during those long flights. And you can adjust them for height and depth. You can even change the configuration depending on whether the pilot is using a side stick or a center stick control setup.
It's like they've thought of every possible scenario a pilot might face.
They really have.
And what about the lumbar rest? I don't see as many adjustments there, but I bet it's still crucial.
Oh, absolutely. It might not be as flashy as some of the other features,
Right.
but that lumbar rest is essential for spinal health, especially on those long-haul flights.
Right.
It provides crucial support to the lower back,
Mm-hmm.
helps maintain that natural curvature of the spine, and prevents fatigue and discomfort.
So even something as simple as a lumbar rest is designed with the pilot's well-being in mind.
Absolutely. Every detail matter.
And then, of course, you've got the footrest.
Mm-hmm.
I can definitely see how having your feet comfortably positioned would be important, especially for circulation on those long flights.
Oh, for sure. The footrest is not an afterthought at all.
Oh, wow.
It can be adjusted up and down, moved forward or back to make sure those legs are in the optimal position.
So it's all about optimizing circulation and overall comfort.
Exactly.
All right, so we've covered comfort, but let's move on to something a bit more intense.
Let's do it.
The safety features.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's the shoulder harness and the abdominal belt, which we'd expect.
Right.
But then there's this mysterious fifth strap.
That fifth strap.
Yeah. What's the deal with that?
Well, it's intriguing, right?
Yeah.
I think it speaks to this idea of redundancy in aviation safety,
Okay.
just like planes have backup systems. This extra strap adds another layer of security.
Okay.
It makes sure the pilot stays firmly in place, even in extreme situations, like, high G maneuvers or severe turbulence.
So it's like a safety net on top of a safety net.
Exactly.
That's incredible. And what about that inertia real locking level we were wondering about earlier?
Oh, that's a clever mechanism.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a seatbelt for your seatbelt.
What?
It senses sudden changes in motion, so if there's a sudden jolt, the locking level engages, instantly keeping the pilot secure.
Wow, that's amazing. It's like they've thought of everything.
Well, they try to.
And then, of course, there's the life vest compartment with the check window, just in case things go really wrong.
Yeah. It really shows how these seats are designed for both routine and emergency situations.
For sure.
Having that life vest easily accessible could be crucial in an emergency.
So we've got comfort, we've got safety, but I'm noticing something else in the diagram, both manual and the electrical control.
Oh, yeah.
Why would you need both?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
The study guide doesn't say explicitly, but we can speculate a bit.
Okay, what do you think?
Well, it's possible the manual controls are there for quick, direct adjustments,
I see.
while the electrical controls might be for the more complex stuff, like adjusting the seat height, which might require more power.
So manual for that immediate tactile feedback,
Yeah,
and electrical for those finer adjustments.
precisely.
It makes you wonder if we'll see those electrical controls get even more sophisticated in the future.
Oh, yeah.
Like, imagine AI-powered seats that adjust to your body in real time.
Whoa, now that's a thought.
But before we get too futuristic,
Yeah.
there's one thing on this diagram I'm still curious about, this indicator.
Mm,
The study guide says it shows the table tilt angle.
right.
But wouldn't it be tricky to work on a tilted table?
That's a great point.
Or even eat?
Yeah, I mean, spilled drinks, food sliding around.
It doesn't sound very practical.
No, it doesn't.
So maybe the table's mainly for pre-flight prep or breaks when the plane's on the ground.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Not so much for active flying.
Probably not.
So more of a workstation than a dining table.
Exactly.
I'm starting to see the bigger picture here.
What's that?
It's not just about comfort or safety. It's about creating an entire workspace that supports the pilot in every aspect of their job.
I like that.
But speaking of workspaces,
Yeah.
let's talk about the base of the seat.
Okay.
The diagram labels some sections as moving and free.
Huh.
What's going on down there?
Well, the moving section probably refers to the mechanism that lets the seat adjust vertically.
Right.
But the free section, now that's a bit more mysterious.
What could it be for?
Well, it could be a part that allows the seat to rotate,
Rotate.
like a swivel chair.
A swivel chair in a cockpit.
Why not? And remember that rotation adjustment button we saw earlier?
Yeah.
That could be the key to this whole mystery.
Okay, now things are getting really interesting. So we've got a seat that can move up and down, it can tilt, and it can rotate.
Quite the versatile chair.
But why would a pilot need to swivel around?
Well, think about trying to squeeze into that cramped cockpit.
Okay, yeah.
Being able to rotate the seat could make that a lot easier.
I can see that.
And it could also give the pilot better visibility of instruments or controls that might be hard to see from a fixed position.
So it's all about maximizing efficiency and ergonomics, even in those tight spaces.
Precisely.
This is incredible. But I think we need to give our listeners a chance to process all this information.
Good idea.
We'll be back in a flash to delve even deeper into this world of pilot seats, so stay tuned.
Can't wait. Welcome back.
So before the break, we were talking about that rotating seat base.
Right.
I'm still kind of stuck on why a pilot would need to swivel around in their seat. Is it just for getting in and out of the cockpit, or is there something more to it?
Well, it's definitely practical for getting in and out, especially in those older planes with tighter cockpits.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I think there's more to it.
Like what?
Imagine you need to quickly check an instrument or a control that's not directly in front of you. Even being able to rotate the seat slightly could make all the difference.
So it's about efficiency.
Exactly. Having everything within easy reach when you need it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious about this table tilt angle adjustment thing.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
What's the purpose of having a tilting table?
Well, the study guide doesn't really go into detail.
Yeah.
We know it's attached to the headrest and can tilt,
Right.
but its exact function is a bit of a mystery.
I don't know. I'm picturing a pilot trying to eat a meal on a slanted table mid-flight.
Oh.
Spilled drinks, food sliding around.
Yeah, not ideal.
It doesn't seem very practical.
No, not really.
So maybe it's more for pre-flight checks or, going over charts and paperwork.
That's a good possibility. Or maybe even just a place to rest a snack while they're on the ground.
So more of a temporary workstation
Right, exactly.
than a full-fledged dining table.
Yeah, that makes more sense when you think about it.
It does. It reinforces the idea that this seat is designed for so many different tasks, not just sitting and flying.
Right.
It needs to adapt to all these different phases of the flight
Absolutely.
and support the pilot's needs throughout.
You got it.
You know what I keep coming back to?
What's that?
The armrests.
Yeah.
It seems like they play such a key role in both comfort and e-control access.
Oh, absolutely. Remember all those adjustments we talked about?
Yeah.
Height, depth, even adapting to different control setups.
All right.
It all goes back to ergonomics.
Oh, for sure.
Making sure the pilot's arms are in the optimal position to interact with all those controls.
It's like finding that perfect ergonomic sweet spot where everything feels just right.
Exactly.
You know something we haven't talked about yet?
What's that?
The material of the seat itself.
Oh, yeah, good point.
What kind of fabrics and padding are we dealing with here?
You know, the study guide's a little vague on that.
Really?
Yeah, doesn't give us many specifics.
Well, I imagine it has to be durable,
Oh, absolutely.
fire resistant, probably breathable to some degree,
Mm-hmm.
and comfortable to sit on for hours and hours.
Right. And able to withstand, fluctuating temperatures and humidity levels.
That's a tall order.
It is. But I'm sure the engineers who design these seats take all that very seriously.
It makes you appreciate all the research and thought that goes into something as seemingly simple as a chair.
It really does.
But I think we've established that a pilot seat is anything but simple.
No, it's not.
It's a marvel of engineering.
It really is.
And with technology advancing so rapidly, who knows what innovations we'll see in the years to come.
Oh, I can't wait to see what the future holds for pilot seats.
Me neither. Speaking of the future,
Yeah.
I have a question that's been on my mind this whole deep dive,
Hmm.
looking at all these incredible advancements.
Yeah.
What could the future hold for pilot seats? Will they become even more personalized and responsive?
Oh, absolutely. Imagine seats that utilize biometrics
Whoa.
to automatically adjust to the pilot's body shape and posture in real time.
In real time.
Yeah, providing optimal support and comfort throughout the flight.
It'd be like a high-tech personalized massage chair.
Exactly, but specifically for pilots.
Oh.
And we might even see seats that anticipate the forces a pilot experiences during flight.
Like G-forces.
Yeah, exactly. And turbulence.
Okay.
And then proactively adjust their position to minimize stress on the pilot's body.
Now we're talking science fiction.
I know, right?
But honestly, who knows what's possible?
That's the beauty of it. And let's not forget about augmented reality.
Oh, yeah, we talked about heads-up displays. But imagine that information projected right into the pilot's field of vision.
Right onto the visor of their helmet.
Wow, that would be incredible.
I know, right?
They'd have all the critical data they need without ever taking their eyes off the controls.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've gone pretty far into the future here.
We have.
Let's bring it back to the present for a minute.
Okay.
Just to recap what we've learned.
Sounds good.
We've explored this intricate world of pilot seat design.
We have.
We've talked about adjustable features, safety mechanisms, even that mysterious rotating base.
It's amazing how much goes into something we rarely even think about.
I know, right?
You know, we've discussed the importance of ergonomics, the need for flexibility and adaptability.
Absolutely.
This holistic approach to designing a workspace that supports the pilot in every way.
And I think it's safe to say we've both learned a ton about pilot seats today.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But more importantly, I hope this deep dive has encouraged you, our listeners, to think differently.
To look at things with fresh eyes.
To question assumptions.
And to never stop exploring.
Because the world is full of fascinating things just waiting to be discovered.
Exactly, just like the world of pilot seats.
So stay tuned for the final part of our exploration.
It's going to be good.
All right, we are back for the final part of our pilot seat adventure.
And what a journey it's been.
It really has.
Yeah.
I feel like we could keep talking about these things for hours.
How easily.
But before we get carried away, I want to hear your thoughts on the big takeaway here.
The big takeaway.
Yeah, like what's the main thing that stands out to you after this whole deep dive?
You know what strikes me most? Is that a pilot seat is so much more than just a place to sit.
Oh, for sure.
It's this meticulously engineered system designed to support the pilot in every way.
Totally. From routine flights to emergencies, the seat is there, providing comfort, safety, and all that functionality.
Exactly. It's like a microcosm of the aircraft itself.
Oh, I like that.
All these complex systems working together in perfect harmony.
And just like an aircraft, the pilot seat is constantly evolving.
Oh, absolutely.
New materials, new technologies, new ideas all the time.
Pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Speaking of pushing boundaries, we were just talking about the future of pilot seats.
Right.
What are some of the most exciting possibilities you see on the horizon?
Well, we've talked about AI-powered seats that can learn and adapt to the pilot's needs in real time.
Right, like a personalized comfort cocoon.
Exactly. Imagine a seat that automatically adjusts its support based on biofeedback.
Whoa.
Ensuring optimal comfort and minimizing fatigue even on those super long flights.
That would be incredible.
And I think we'll see even more emphasis on proactive safety features in the future.
Okay, what do you mean?
Imagine seats that can actually anticipate things like G-forces and turbulence.
And then what?
They could adjust their position and restraints to keep the pilot safe.
It'd be like having a co-pilot dedicated to your well-being.
Precisely. Always looking out for you.
That's pretty amazing. And of course, we can't forget about augmented reality.
Oh, right. We talked about heads-up displays.
Yeah, but imagine all that information projected right into the pilot's field of vision.
Like on the visor of their helmet.
It'd be a game changer.
Totally. Pilots could have all the crucial data they need without ever having to take their eyes off the controls.
Wow, the future of pilot seats is going to be wild.
It really is.
Well, I think it's time to wrap up this incredible deep dive.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Any final thoughts you want to leave our listeners with?
You know, after spending all this time exploring pilot seats, I'm just struck by how much thought and ingenuity goes into something we often take for granted.
That's true. We don't usually think about all the work that goes into designing a seat.
It's a good reminder that even the most everyday objects can be fascinating and complex when you really look at them.
I love that. And I hope this deep dive has inspired our listeners to keep asking questions, keep exploring.
To never lose that curiosity.
Because the world is full of amazing things just waiting to be discovered.
Well said.
Thanks for joining us on this journey into the world of pilot seats.
It's been a pleasure.
And we'll see you next time for another deep dive into something unexpected.
Can't wait.